I'm going to teach you a relaxed breathing technique. It's also called diaphragmatic breathing, but it's not something to worry about. You've been breathing perfectly your whole life. Lots of people get quite militant about doing this properly, and I'm all about just looking at how you breathe and trying to make it as efficient as possible, because if you get anxious about it or stressed about it, it's going to get very hard to pull off. So a quick anatomy lesson makes it easier to understand why. So if you think about your lungs as a sponge, at the top here you've got quite a stretchy open sort of sponge, and the rest of it goes with gravity, and so the bit at the bottom is a bit tighter knitted. It's got space to expand still. Blood goes with gravity as well. So up here you've not got a lot of blood. Down here you've got loads of blood pooling around because it's gone with gravity. Air doesn't go with gravity. Air takes the path of least resistance. So it goes into those nice wide open sections of your lungs up here and doesn't venture down into the darker bits unless we try and encourage it down there, which this exercise will teach you how to do. So we want the air and the blood in the same place so that they can exchange oxygen. And that is done by breathing down into this bit of your lung that is open and ready to expand. We're quite keen on you breathing in through your nose because your nose hydrates, filters and warms the air so that by the time it gets down into your lungs, it's ready to do a really efficient oxygen swap. We also want you breathing out through your mouth because the process of blowing out through your mouth, that creates a sort of back pressure which splints open those airways a little bit, which means it has a little bit longer to take part in that gaseous exchange process. So what does that look like practically? If you put one hand on your tummy and one hand on your chest, now is not the time to be anxious about what your tummy looks like. We really want you to relax and expand your tummy. So look at where you breathe naturally. As you breathe in, if we're thinking about getting the air and the oxygen in the same place, we want your diaphragm to come down and your rib cage to expand and open. So this bottom hand should be coming out and coming back in again as you breathe out. So a breath in means that this bottom hand lifts, and a breath out means that it falls back in again. The upper hand, try not to let it move so much. See if you can get a lot of the movement happening in your lower hand and not so much happening in your upper hand. Once you're confident with that, you can move your hands around to the outside part of your rib cage. Give them a little bit of a squeeze in and then breathe laterally out into your rib cage. We call this a bucket handle. If you think about your buckets and spades at the beach, the bucket handle comes up and back down like a hinge. And your rib does something similar here to really open up the space in your rib cage. So a bit of a squeeze as you breathe out and a deep breath in to take your rib cage apart and open up your chest. So your tummy comes out, ribs come up and out and at the same time. But don't get anxious about this. It's going to be very hard to do if you're getting stressed and your shoulders are coming up by your ears. Try and breathe down into your tummy. That's the main thing.